meant to take wings into the air, dubious of his worth. Thoughts, is he only destined to be dirt? They were cast off by one of the flock, based on an inference they wouldn't make an imprint, faithless, feeling his line could never be the difference. Reason being is when he was 9, his dad stepped off the scale and flew off the handle, tipping the balance of child support into drugs and other ambitions. But what he didn't figure is that his estimate wasn't approximate. He couldn't kill the 1%, even if he beat his fists and everything else he had standing over his oldest kid. He could never punch it into him that he was weak. Not weak for not letting his mom get pushed by other men. A real man is a human. So he'd cry inside the space of his bed. Then he'd be tucking those kids in, being a father to his siblings, making sure they had first dibs, the leftovers in the fridge, never letting a man touch his sister. No, never would one lay hands. He swore to God that would be his trigger. They both knew that even when he took a blow that would break his nose, and Grandma just said, oh, it would never be beat into him. Impotent he was not. No, but that angel was wary, on account of being worn, living in cars and other people's floors, always outside loving doors, never having equilibrium, refusing to trust in stability. That never comes from the straw homes, never the same after the wolf blows, meant to take flight into the air. But everyone told him, you gotta carry yourself to get there. Before, he'd spent his whole life chained to change. But, by removing the impossible dogmas, the assertion that this fledgling had wings that hadn't even been stretched yet, he wasn't a tiny projection, starting to own his own value and test that distance. No more surrendering to a short fuse while legs are shaking. He said, this ends here. No more abuse. His dad never figured that his weight on the scale weighed them down. Now, they're living in a small town on the outskirts. And at first, he's made a friend in the small society. They speak immaturity, fluently, but the girl calls him beautiful, and she calls him frequently, reminding him he's never been the thing his dad calls him when he's drinking or any other time. People who call him a mistake, the deluded, the first to listen, whether it's that first hit or that last lesson, they're still on despite social repercussions, bonded to social dignity, damned until they couldn't see. They could shake their chains and get away. They could always shake free from who their captors said they'd be. Those who fail to use their wings are often the first to sing about sabotage and broken extensions, but 99% of the time, they forget the errors that exist only in their mind. Statistically, that 1% can still make it. And they taught him that he wasn't meant to go off that bridge that night. He was meant to keep crossing the sand, couldn't see his imprints until he stopped trying to fit in the footprints of men behind him. No, it'd never be beat into him that he was the accident. Look up at him. The shackles fall in front of them. Those who sung despair stand behind him, screaming in silence. He turns and forgives the lost, but still walking through the dust, the circle broken. Of course, he wouldn't leave just an imprint. His legacy kicks inside of her. Not a fist will ever be raised. His children weren't destined for dirt, based on a lineage that didn't work. He took wings into the air, became the balance for the scale. He owned his worth and distance. Instead of leaving the aftermath, another problem for someone else to work on, he changed the formula, eradicated the old ways. Dad did long division, but the solutions he had, they never quite added up. No, if his babies fall down, feeling like they're for Earth, they can look up and see the sky is what they're worth.